Hello, good morning. Let's see how this works out. We're gonna look at this classes. Oh, is this the... What are we using here? Package JSON. Are we using... yeah, I think this is it. Run dev. Yeah, let's take a look. Let's see. So there we have that thing. And then let's see. Yeah, anyways, we're gonna work on the dev tools. npm run dev. Was that the thing? I can't remember. Scripts, check deps, build. Oh wait, over my DevTools client. Over my DevTools client. Scripts. Was it just start? I can't remember. Run start. And then this runs on localhost 8080. Was that the thing? Add write localhosts. Yeah. And then if I refresh this one, okay. We're back in it. Okay, so there's two things we need to do before we can even like kind of start testing this. And that is, we need to clean up the DevTools. Well, what should we do for? Well, there are two things we're gonna do, and that is clean up the DevTools, and it's also making sure that all this proxy dev tooling logic in ReactX is only actually running in development. So what should we clean up first? The thing is that you can actually use it with the Overmind DevTools now. So I think maybe we should prioritize actually cleaning up that yeah, actually cleaning up the proxy implementation first, because it's working now. And yeah, I think we should do that. And then we can actually kind of publish that as like a test package if someone wants to try it, just using the Overmind DevTools. And then yeah, I think that makes most sense. And then we can go in and actually refactor stuff here. So the thing about sometimes you think that like automatically detecting dev mode is a good thing. So it kind of just works, but that's not a good thing. That's a bad thing, because you can't rely on build tools or like the different build environments to automatically detect that. So there should be an actual flag where you like you have to activate the dev tools. So currently, how do we do this now? Didn't I just start it inside the proxy? Yeah, exactly. So what we need to do is find a good way to activate the dev tools. So one good way to do that is to actually use the reactive this create proxy, and then you would actually pass in if the dev tool should be activated. But this create proxy is being used multiple places, right? So we need an actual. So we need to export function reactive. And then do this. And then we're gonna say, oh, you know what? We're gonna do this differently. We're actually gonna rather export reactive from proxy, and then we're gonna say, let's see, export function reactive, which will be this, and then development is false. And then we're gonna, hello Henry. So we're back at it. Let's see how far we can get in how many minutes I have. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, so we're gonna activate if development. We're gonna activate the devtools. Now there's one question, and that is how reliant are. Yeah, so I think we need all the proxy stuff to actually be in here, because then we're kind of globally accessing the devtools, and then we're just gonna check if the devtools are there. So that will be devtools. Let's select, and then let's see. So if development, we're gonna say devtool. Well, and this should be called devtools. Okay, so I think development should be Boolean or string, and it equals to false. And that would be exactly. What is this message? Oh, yeah. So the devtools can send messages back. So this is what we're doing for action calling, but we're not really going to do that now. At least not now. Allow devtools to interact. Well, okay, so I think maybe we're going to do this. How are we going to do this? Yeah, this is interesting. So we do allow you to change the state in the state tree. Okay, let's just make that a to-do. Take as they change messages and change internal state. So we're gonna get a message like you change some state in the dev tool in the state tree, and then we send a message to the client to apply that mutation. And we can do that, but yeah. Let's drop that for now. So now we have these dev tools, but the question now is these are not definitely defined. So we need to, let's see. Yeah, so it's also interesting that this whole like preventing mutation proxies and all of this is going to fade away when you're in production. So that's also a thing, is like there's a difference between being in development and being in a dev tooling context. I wonder how libraries actually does this. So typically they use process.env, node-env. For example, React, I believe, relies on that. So you actually have node-env production when you actually build for production, which is really important to do. So we could do that for like, yeah, I think we're, yeah, this is interesting because this is also a powerful thing. It's like we can actually just configure if you want to protect your actions or not. Or can we? No, wait a minute. Yeah, we can do that. Yeah, sorry. We can decide to, or you want to protect your state or not from React with just a configuration as opposed to using actions or not. Yeah, I think actually gonna change reactive to be options. So it's gonna be options. So we're gonna protect state. I don't have a better word for it currently. And then devtools. So this would be protect state true. I'm not sure if you should, like, I guess you should connect to the devtools by default. So this would be options devtools, yeah. Yeah. And then we can share no file. Oh, let's see. And then we need to pass in if we should protect state or not. That needs to go into here. I think we can just pass the options. So let's put those options as a thing. Options. And then yeah, create proxy should now take these options. Yeah, and we just have to keep kind of passing them. That's fine. Wait a minute. Is there how does this proxy work? So there's one proxy that does the lazy. No, maybe this is fine. Like we don't need this protect thing. Yeah, sorry. Let's drop that for now. I think let's just do this for now. Because the same proxy that protects from mutation is the same proxy that lazily creates reactivity. So we can't like strip that in production anyways. So this is really just about every time the dev tools are referenced. That is create. I want to separate. Let's see. Create effects proxy, create action proxy. Yeah. So let's move those to the bottom. DevTool proxies. Let's see. We have to review this a little bit. Create array mutation proxy. Okay, so this is actually the thing. Let's see. Send mutations. Let's just name these. Create array devtools proxy. Let's move that down. I'm not, it's not clear to me like what is actually DevTools proxies and what makes things lazy. Create from array with reactive behavior. Recursively create proxies for nested objects. Mutating array. So where is this being used? Yeah, so this is the thing, right? We don't actually need base handler. Yeah, so this is just protecting mutation, and we don't actually need that in production. But we're also going through thinking. So we're also going through each item here. And we're creating a proxy, and that proxy could be an object proxy. And this is where we do the lazy stuff. Yeah, no, I guess we need them. So here we're doing all the custom stuff. Oh. Create object. It's basically here it's happening. Create object proxy. This is where it checks if it's a custom class. If it's a custom class, it creates a proxy around it. And does all the things. But all this path concatenation, all that stuff is actually completely unnecessary if you are not using the dev tools. And I wonder how we can separate that. Maybe we just don't. It's not that important. Maybe we should, at least for now, I think it's fine that we just, whenever we point to the dev tools, we're just gonna, by the way, let's just or undefine. There we have it. So this is the create object mutation proxy, but this is only created. Okay, so I guess here we can do some things. Yeah, look at this. Create array devtools proxy. These things aren't necessary unless you actually have the devtools running. Oh, but that's in the create object mutation proxy. Where does it actually? Oh, so that's create action. Okay, so I guess it's create action proxy is the thing that kind of triggers the devtools. Yeah, feeling better about today, I think. Thanks for asking. We'll see how the day moves on. It's a little bit, the energy in the house isn't like, we're not super pumped, but the kids are just relaxing. I'm doing the stream. Should be good for a few minutes, I think. Let's see. So where is create action proxy? Yes, so this is where it happens. Yeah, this should only be used in dev. This is where it all starts for the dev tools, right? Yeah, kinda. Yeah, and this stuff. Yeah, it's all in here. So what I think we should do is dev tools, and this should only be used in dev. That's fine. And then all of this stuff should be also if dev tools. Oh, come on. It's callbacks are if dev tools const dev tools instance equals dev tools. This is just a typing thing. Cool. So we only send state, and we only run auto run updating the state if we have dev tools, and then we only create the action proxy if we have dev tools. That's basically it. It's actually much simpler. Yeah, and then of course the computed thing. Yeah. Yeah, I think this is actually good. We don't need anything more than this. What's the error here? How are you doing, by the way? So the thing here is that we can't actually get here without having dev tools. So it's, yeah, I think we can just do this here because this code would not execute without the dev tools. So this is fine, but I don't want to like make the TypeScript thing happy by just passing dev tools manually and stuff. It's kind of, yeah, it's a drag. So we could also clean up by like, by actually having two completely separate proxies that kind of shares functionality, but that's also kind of difficult to do. So I think this is fine for now. So let's, are you yarn build? So in, yeah, here we are, close all. Is this where we do reactive? Yeah. So let's do true here. So this is where you would actually do your check, right? So if you have process n, you would do that. If you use meta, what is it? Import dot meta. If you did that, you would use that. But now let's just hard code it to true and see if it still works. Yeah. And if I do false, nothing. Great. Cool. So that's nice. That's progress. So now I think like ReactX in itself is in like a testable state. You can use the Overmind dev tools, so we can actually publish. Maybe we should even do that. What's the state of this ReactX thing? Do we have like a README thing on it? Mobix, Bonsify. ReactX. I don't know, transparent. Transparent reactive state management. ReactX. Yeah, let's do like alpha. That's a nice tag. ReactX. So on and so on. We have to make sure that our bubble plugin uses ReactX. And the same for the SWC plugin uses, ReactX. Package JSON, ReactX. What was the latest version? 0.15. Okay, so let's just do that one, but we're going to call it alpha 1. Whatever. This is all fine, I think. Okay, we're just going to try this. I'm not sure if anyone's actually going to test it. Alpha release. Just push that. Oh. Oh yeah, this is just if you use the news next or the next branch, you can add this to the init. Oh. Yeah, that's nice. We can add that. Tag alpha. Let's see. One more time. 192 332. Yeah, but that's fine. That's fine. I'm thinking about like, well, so there's some visual things. So we have to show. Okay, maybe we can do this first. Like, what do we actually want to change in the devtools? Let's see. I just want to check the versions. Yeah. Okay. So you can actually install ReactX at alpha. That's nice. But let's write down what we actually want to do with the devtools. Oh, I'm clicking the wrong thing. Hello, morning. Good morning. So overmind devtools allow sending recommendations without execution context, which should be shown in history. So this is when there are state changes performed, but it's unrelated to an action. So we want to have, basically, we don't have to pass execution on the state message. Wait, no, that's not true. Or is it true? No, okay, yeah, sorry. So we have two mechanisms now that actually updates the state in the devtools. It's getting a mutation message, and it's getting like a state. Just a pure state update. Thank you so much. Yeah, I think my day is good. I hope you have a good day as well. How are you feeling? Hello there. Yeah, so the devtools, like when we see the devtools here, there are two things that changes the state here in this state tree. It is just sending these state messages, which is us just observing the properties. And then it's the actual mutations. And we want to, in the history here, currently this is showing mutations. But Oh, didn't I have a plan for this? The problem is that at the point where we're just sending the state change, we don't have any action. Oh yeah, we're gonna have a global action context. That's what we're gonna do. In one word, what is React and DevOps? In one word, what both of them are? They're very different things, so it's hard to. But one word for each. I don't think you can describe any of them in. Well, DevOps is. Yeah, no, you can't summarize it in one word. Remember last time you fixed some bug in devtools? Yes, exactly. Yeah. So currently we're just running with this. Where is the devtools? Yeah, so we're just running with this MobX Lite branch of Overmind to just kind of run through what we want to change, and then we can evaluate if we just merge that and that's compliant with the changes you made, Henry, or if we want to kind of just use that as a reference. But like now, it's just free roaming. What do we actually need to change? We can do this using a global current action execution context. Okay, so what we can do is when we observe, so we have this auto run running on our state, and whenever it changes, we can check to see if we have an existing execution context. The problem though is that execution context might not be related to the actual state change. We don't know that. Theoretically, some other state might be changing unrelated to that. And you might also have multiple execution contexts running at the same time. No, I don't think this is a good idea. So a better idea is that, so the easiest way to do this is just to have both? No. Well, a better idea is to not. No. Okay, nice. Okay, I'm not sure how we're gonna solve this one. So just to give you some context, when I refresh here now and we look at this state, this is populated by a message called state. All of this, but as soon as I make some kind of interaction, like running some action. Oh, this is another thing. No, I think this is fine. Yeah, it just shows that we're subscribing to the add to do mutation. That's fine. The point is, if I make some state change here, like, oh, that's local state, sorry. Do I have anything? Do I have anything? Oh, this is another thing. Like we talked about filter out actions with no contents. Yeah, because you might be calling methods like we do here that doesn't actually perform mutations. It's just a way to get some data or whatever. But then again, subscribe is kind of nice to know about. Ooh. Yeah, no, I think it's fine. Let's drop that one. What was I gonna do? I wanted to show, like, don't we have, here we go. No, all of this is actually local state. Anyways, my point is, if an action actually performs a mutation, we don't have to run it because the state will be updated regardless. The problem is that we need to match mutations with state changes, because in the history here, when it populates, you can bind a mutation to a specific action, which is super nice to have. But we also want to show state changes unrelated to an action, but there's no real way of mapping that. Like, we're gonna get duplicate messages. I wouldn't go. Well, it's a good thing that you have insights into HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, but I think you'll feel much more powerful if you jump into a framework. Even though frameworks are very high abstractions, and you don't really learn about the fundamentals of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. But I would choose a framework, because then you can build like really cool stuff, like React or Vue or Svelte. It doesn't matter. Something that enables you to build an actual like app experience. That's one path if you want to focus on the client. Or I would move over to, again, using a framework like Convex or Supabase or one of these services that allows you to explore the backend, like get a database or Firebase for that matter, that allows you to actually build an app, right? HTML, CSS, and JavaScript is just showing something in the in the browser. But to create an actual experience, you need the server side. And then you have solutions like Convex, Firebase, or Supabase that allows you to set up a database and authentication and all of that stuff and actually build an app. And I think a lot of them has really, really good like starting guides. And even though you don't understand everything, you don't need to at that point in time. I'm very much in the school of thought that you should work at a high abstraction and work downwards, like into the fundamentals, as opposed to learning the fundamentals and then going to high abstractions. Because it's very hard to understand fundamentals without understanding what you're going to use them for. What were we thinking about? Yeah, it's these state updates. How are we going to do this? So what we can do is we can match them. Like, if the path of a state mutation is, so what we could do is, on a state mutation, we could send the existing execution contexts, and then we can match it. So if there is a mutation on an execution context on the same path as just a general state update, then we would show the mutation as opposed to the state update. Yeah. So what? Yeah. So no. This one's difficult. How are we gonna do this? How are we gonna do this? Because it's silly to show a history that has like just state updates and mutations, and every time you have a mutation, you're gonna have a duplicate state entry. That's silly. Either you should have like this state entry, which is like unrelated to any mutation, like action mutation, or you should just have the action mutation. But I don't think there's any other way to do it. We keep track of active execution contexts, and then we pass them whenever we detect a state change. And then in the devtools, but we're also, the other thing I don't like about it is that we're duplicating message passing, because the mutation holds all that's necessary to perform the mutation in the state tree, but so does the state update. So what we could also do is, because we have the paths, right? That's a very interesting, like important piece of detail. So what we could do is whenever we perform a mutation, we're going to put it in a mutations array. And then whenever our observer picks up a mutation, it's going to check if, or picks up a change, it's going to check if there is a pending mutation on that path. And if there is, it's going to pop it off the list and send it in as an actual mutation. Or it will just pass it as a state update. Hey, Mark. Hey, that's awesome. It's really, really cool to, I would love to see how does it actually look like in C# code to consume the SDK. I would love to see that, because as we discussed, it's like I've not built like multiple clients or generated multiple clients from an open API spec before. So I'm like reflecting a lot about like consistency and what abstraction level. Like ideally we would just generate everything, but there's certain things that we might not be able to just generate, and so on and so on. So yeah, I would love to see an example there, and maybe yeah, I would love to see an example. Oh, it's on GitHub. What was the was it paste bin? Paste bin. Oh, look at that. E33R not. Oh, did I write it wrong again? E33RNA. Oh. Oh. Wait. Is there an O in there? No. What am I typing wrong here, Mark? E33R ORNAUT. Oh, sorry. You had such a. Oh, it looked so much like the the reference you had. I guess this will be users. Is this you? No, is this some? Or is it? Is this you? No. Oh. Oh, okay, okay, okay. Now I see. There we go. Oh, look at you making things looking super professional. New API client. Oh, interesting. Container service. But you manually implemented this API client, or is this like, is any of this like generated automatically from the spec, or did you use the spec to like implement the thing? This is very interesting. Mocking. Ah, this is really cool. Okay, to generate the models. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so this is the yeah, exactly. Yeah, because I do wonder about this, like if it's a better approach for us to, as you say, use the spec to generate like the typing or the models or like the core entities of like request response, and then you do like the, what do you call it, dogmatic? No, what's the word, like the common way of like exposing that in the way you do expose REST in the specific language. And today that's easier than ever, right? Because you can use AI for that, like in terms of maintainability, or we can just open source it, right? And other people like yourself can actually create those abstractions. Maybe that's even better. Yeah, but this is really cool, Mark. Thanks for taking that time. It really helps me reflect on how to best approach this for the team and for the SDK. Let's see. We were talking about a list of mutations. Like we're queuing mutations, and then as we detect the actual change to the state, we're gonna pop off this queue if there's a match on the path. And then we're going to choose to send it in as a mutation or as a pure state update. I think that yeah, I would never unwantingly make you commit to maintaining something. So for me, currently, this is just great for inspiration. But yeah, if you would want to expose it to others, I will be glad to reference the project. But yeah, it's still relatively early days for the SDK, so there's a lot of stuff going on there. Okay, so I think allow sending without execute. We should queue mutations and pop them off in our state observer. Yes, so we're going to do that. And then that means that whenever we get a state message, we're going to include those state messages in the history, because those are non-action state changes. Great. And then we are going to, what are we going to do? Let's see. Yes, and then we have all these actions running, which is fine, but I'm not sure. So the thing this is built up for is to have different kinds of operators, which I guess is fine. But it's, yeah, we're missing some details here. We're missing show action arguments. They're not showing for some reason. Show action arguments. Yes, so we're going to show those action arguments. But there's nothing more than that, is there? Yeah, and then we had nested actions, which looked a little bit weird. I think like when we actually evaluate this, we're going to move to a different project and kind of just create the state and the actions we need to kind of evaluate the information flow here. But for now, oh, by the way, Henry, this action thing, that should also be a feature you can turn off. This one at the top here. Okay, but I think this is fine. I think this is actually fine. Yeah, okay, let's do it. Let's stop the family scrum thing. Let's rather load up the... Where's family scrum? Here's family scrum. So let's rather run the Vite demo. And this Vite demo... Let's see, is it using... Are we mounting app2? Let's see, app2 reactive. Let's do true here. Oh, what are you complaining about? Let's see, git status. What's happening here? Why isn't it? Oh, I think I know why. This needs to be ReactX. Oh, yeah, we need to link it. Yarn link ReactX. ReactX. Oh, yarn link, sorry. There we go. And then, yeah, sorry. Yarn link React. And then run dev. There we go. Localhost 4000. Yeah, and here we have our simpler thing. Showing everything. That's nice. So now let's try to build up some history here. So we can try to first... So we are getting some state stuff here. Yeah, we're getting the proper path and everything. That's good. Okay, so we're actually going to make these state messages, they're going to be part of the history. Yeah, though... Yeah? Okay, just 2 seconds. Ja, men du bare holde nede hoppeknappen. Du må holde nede hoppeknappen og oppe høyre. Sånn da. Ser du? Jeg synes det var litt rart at man hopper så bra. Ja, ikke sant? Da bare... Men Åsmund hjelper deg, Oskar. Okay, what the fuck already was tagged for beta? What? Clone it? Oh, is that what you call like installing the C# package, or this is a big like AI generally is a hype, but like running coding, like managing coding environments for AI is also, it's like at the tip of the hype train, I guess. Currently, that's how I experience it. Well, I'm in the middle of it, so of course it feels like that. Oh, interesting. That's very interesting. Let's see. Let's see. What we're gonna do? Yes, we were reflecting on these initial messages. So these initial messages shouldn't actually be part of the history. Only changes should be part of the history. So what we can do is in our proxy. Okay, so now we're actually diving into it. So in our proxy, we are going to, where do we run? Oops, auto run. Here we're gonna evaluate, because this runs. So we would have to have is first run equals true, and then is first run is false, and then we want to flag this with like is mutation. So let's update that. So this is basically just going to be a property on our message. Let's see, we have all these messages. Where are they? State message is mutation boolean. Emma. Is mutation, and now we can evaluate if this should actually be part of the history or not. So what we can do now is we can go to our history. Let's see how it brings in everything. Oh, yeah, exactly. Oh, we actually have a history here. Okay, history record type. I guess we're just going to call it state. It's so cool. Okay. So let's render that first. Ja. Nei, jeg aner ikke hvor du har lagt den. Yeah, let's just put it in like this for now. And then we are gonna add to the history. Oh, this is just data. Oh, wait, data? Oh, interesting. Why is this data? Is it data on the other ones? Oh, that's method path. Mutation. Those gonna state message. Wait, I'm confused. Where was the history? Oh, history. Record. Mutation. Oh, it was using state message. We don't want a state message. We just want the state. Okay, I guess we can just do data like this. Wait, why are you complaining? Oh, there we go. So here, let's see, mutation record. Oh. Ja, vent litt da. Path value. I think we can just remove this. And there's no args, but there's a value. What do we have value? Let's see. There we go. Yeah. Yeah. Ikke på én maskin. Det er to. Spille online. Hva er det med? Det er mine filmer. Dine filmer? Ja. Ja. Nei, da må jeg logge inn. Jeg tror ikke du får tilgang til det. Ja, den! Den! Dette er en tank. Nei, da må du logge inn på min konto. Mange pusler. Den har ja, den har et hull hvis du går der det er litt lys, og du trykker bare på løp, så får du full gass, og den lufta kommer ut fra det hullet. Eller hull. Der den. Ja, den bak. Okay, let's see. So now we have those records. Now we just have to make them appear, which is part of our actions state, update state. So now we should be able to check. Yeah, I guess we can do it here. So now we can do state history. This is just, this is too simple. Okay, so let's see what's gonna happen now. We're gonna refresh this, and there shouldn't be anything in history, but if I make an actual change, well, now there's gonna be a set here because it's an action. Wait, what were we gonna do here? Oh, the queue thing. Oh, but this didn't work, did it? Ja. Jeg vet ikke helt hva som skjedde. Ferdig. Du må lukke det her. Why didn't we see a state update? Oh, I didn't build it, did I? Oh, come on. So state history. Wait, there's something I'm not doing here. What am I not doing? Let's look at the message coming in. Oh, by the way, we should also let's see, if no target or not equal to object. Let's see, we have to change this a little bit. And then we're rather gonna return, or we're actually gonna do that, and then we're gonna check if state, sorry, message is mutation. Then we're gonna do this. Okay, let's just look at the message. Is first, wait a minute. Is mutation, that's a weird flag. What we're actually doing is we're saying, so yeah, so when we have this queue of mutations, we're not gonna send a message at all if it's a mutation. So this is mutation is wrong. What we rather want to do is, we want it to appear in the history, which means we don't want to do when it's the first run. So is mutation is the wrong name here. Well, I guess you can call it is mutation because it's like, yeah, no, that's fine. Okay, let's call it is mutation. Okay, let's just look at the data. Why doesn't it actually get it? Is mutation false? That's correct. So we should not add it to the history. That's fine. What if I say true? Why doesn't it show it in the history? Boop. This mutation is true, but it's still not showing it in the history. I don't understand that. Why doesn't it show it? Because I'm pushing it to the history here. And when we render the history, we're checking the record type. What the fuck? State.history. And we're returning. Yeah, this is weird to me. Why isn't this working? It's empty. But I just pushed to it. I'm confused. Like we have is mutation true, message data is mutation, state, history, push. Oh, is there... How is it adding to the history? Oh, I think it's derived. Yeah?
Oskar skal spille Shadow-spillet til krig, og så skal man se på om vi skal prøve. Men vi vet ikke hvordan vi skal finne det.
Nei, jeg skal hjelpe dere.
Men det skal ikke spille nå.
Nei, si fra da, vet du. Let's see. Sorry. I think the history is derived. Yeah, sorry. So, oh, sorry. Yeah, my bad. So we're actually not going to do this. We're rather going to do here. Execution type. State. Oh, I thought you would help me with the rest of this. No, that's fine. Oh, wait a minute. What did I do? Oh, come on. What happened here? There we go. State. Message. Oh, come on. This wasn't much help. Concat type history record type state. Is it data? State message of data. Refresh my memory. What is WSL? Let's see. Okay, so now we're deriving this correctly. And now we should be able to see. Yeah! Oh, there we go. Now they're popping up. Great. Just 2 seconds. I'm just gonna... Oh, yeah. Yeah, exactly. I just love this idea of ephemeral execution. There's something about like executing something, but it just happens somewhere else. And this is not like a new concept. Like all cloud services are kind of like this, but they have their own like. I think maybe model is the ones that really shows this, because you can just write some code like a JS bin kind of thing, or like a playground, code playground. But the code you actually executes like literally in the cloud. They kind of make that this like it feels, I don't know how to put it. But my point is this isn't anything new, but it's always been kind of this code interpretation kind of interface, which is just like, it's more like a REPL in the cloud, but now we kind of have a full execution environment in the cloud. But it feels, or at least that what we're striving for is making that interface feel as ephemeral and low cost as an actual REPL execution thing in the cloud. Anyways, sorry, I have to start Sonic game for the kids. Jeg prøver å finne på. Sorry. Hva da? Hvis de vil ha mykkeprogram, og så skal du dusje, eller? Nei. Dusje i går, ja. Dusje i går, ja. Let's see. Men bare la det ri bølgen. Ja, men bare sånn at nå mister du. Jeg kan ikke. Ja, greit. We're experiencing a new dynamics in the family. Like the kids are getting older, like the youngest is getting older, so now there's much more like people just running in and out, and we're moving away from kind of paying full attention to the smallest one, to him kind of just hanging out with his friends, and it's unusual for us, and I'm like the laid back persona in this partnership. And I kind of just write it, and then my partner is much more conscious about how things are changing, and more like not as spontaneous as I am. So it's very interesting. FOSS, remind me. I've heard the term FOSS as well. Let's see. Okay, sorry. Let's see. This should be running now. Oh, it was running. We saw that. Great. But the point is, we're only gonna return this if state message data is mutation. Then we're gonna actually return it. So if not, we're going to return aggregate. And then if we go in here and we actually fix this thing and we build that, we're not going to see anything anymore. But if I make an actual yeah, we're actually going to, but if we mutate something, we should see duplicate messages. That's what's going to happen. That didn't happen. Why didn't we see duplicate messages? It's a good thing, but why? So it is a mutation if it's not the first run. So why? I'm confused. Let's look at some messages here. Didn't we get a state message as well? Let's see. Operators. Mm-hmm. 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 Nei, det har jo Rocket League. Nei, det er det samme spillet. Det er bare på en annen maskin. Oh yeah! Free open source. I remember I read is there a book about like open source like how it was confused, like the term free was confused by monetization free or free and open kind of thing. Yeah, it just reminds me of reading about this story of open source, and that was like a tension. Yeah. But free FOSS is actual free open source. Like it doesn't cost any money. It's not free as in freely open. Let's see. So we're getting updating state, updating state, but why doesn't that come in here? Oh, it still says is mutation false. Interesting. Why does it say that? Hva? Det, nå må la meg være i fred. Nå må dere klare å game for selv. Her? Det er noe annet, det. Det her er sånn kjøpeting. Dere må spille Rocket League her. Ok? Men hvorfor kan vi ikke spille sånn? Jeg vet ikke. Hva skal dere spille? Sånn? Skal dere spille sånn? Jeg vil helst spille sånn. Det er mye artig og sånn. Det er spille sånn. Det er bedre. Må du ikke ha kjøpt av eller noe som helst? Ja. Bare si det. Bare si at det er ikke. Og jeg har fått kjøpt og sånn. Ene. Var det kanskje gale? Ikke være på dere. Ja, men dere må finne ut av det selv, gutta, hva dere vil spille. Phrase, and no one can do anything with it. I wrote it, all that. Yeah, but this ties into what's it called, licenses and stuff. Is there like a FOSS license, or is MIT FOSS? Ah, interesting. But why is this false? This should be true. It's almost like this is a new It's almost like we're running this twice. Like the proxy isn't cached. That's a problem. That reveals an issue. Let's see. How are we gonna check this? Adding path concat key. Okay, I want to see this. Ja. Gud, mamma. Kan vi ikke bare spille det der vi spiller da? Ikke trykk inn på alt mulig rart. Spille nå. Hva er det gått inn på nå da? Hva er det vi spiller Oskar? Skal vi spille Sonic da? Det er ikke så veldig lenge til det er bursdagen. Spille den der. Jakob, ja. I bursdagen? Det hadde vært hyggelig med... Så har jeg fått bursdagskart, men bare helt annen Jakob. Ja, nå skal vi spille litt Sonic da. Kan vi spille inn vårt i krig etter det her, Oskar? Du klarer å starte der? Bra. Let's see. Is for all open source. Yeah. Yeah, interesting. Let's see. So we're... Wait, why isn't it showing my... Oh, sorry. That will be here. Adding path, new to do title. And if I do this... It's not adding the path again. But this is still false. How is that possible? Okay, let's look at the actual... Oh. Let's look at the adding path, sending path is first run. I find this to be weird. Let's see. So, fine. Adding path, new to do state. Yeah, adding path, sending path. Shouldn't there be a sending path, new to do title? To do's value. What's going on here? If value equals value. Ja. Oh, array instance or array more than once. That's fine. But this is okay. If not, is first run. Let's see. So, okay, adding path, sending path, new to do title, fine. To do's value. Yeah, now it's working. Because todo's value is empty, right? And that was set. What the hell is this? To reduce dot value. Oh, that's an array. Todo's dot val. Yes, exactly. Sorry. Hæ? Til hva da? Jeg føler ikke det her fungerer, Oskar. Du må finne ut hva dere vil spille.
Det er bare en serie.
Nei, det er et spill. Det ser ut som en film, men det er faktisk et spill. Men det kommer til å ta litt tid å laste den der, da. Men det er et veldig kult spill.
En Sonic er det aller beste spillet jeg vet om.
Er det det?
Jeg har det hjemme.
Nei, men vi får ikke lasta. Vi rekker ikke den nå, Oskar. Så nå må dere spille Sonic. Jeg foreslår å spille Sonic nå. Siden Eskil er her, så kan vi to spille Rocket League etterpå i dag, Oskar. For nå skal vi snart dra i bursdag. Ok? Sorry for all the disruptions. Doing my best to do everything. But yeah, this is correct. The only thing we are missing here now is that this history... Yeah. Should join the path. Let's see. Because its value is set internally, right? There's no action that's setting the todo's value. This is something that's just happening inside the state. But if I now do age and look at the history, now we have the expected thing that we're actually seeing both things. But we don't want that, right? Nei, nå får dere ikke noe mer hjelp. Nå må dere klare dere selv. So what we're gonna do... Sorry, I have to help them. Sorry, Oskar. Men dere må spille spill da. Jo, dere kan spille Sonic. Eskil vil spille Sonic. Vil du ikke det? Jo, men du, hør på meg nå. Hvis dere vil spille, så kan dere spille Sonic nå. Og så, hvis du vil spille noe annet, så kan vi to gjøre det etter bursdagen. Ok? Jeg sier meg, nå kan dere spille Sonic, eller så skrur jeg, så kan dere gjøre noe annet.
Skal du og jeg spille? Ja, det er veldig artig.
Okay, men da spiller dere hjelpespillet. Ja, da spiller dere det. Ok, bra gutta. Let's see. Yeah, it's just that I never get to do my own stuff unless it's the weekend. And we've had like these moments where we're just around each other and I'm like desperately reaching for that all the time. And yeah, but it's very much up and down. But we have to leave soon anyways. But I wanted to just get to the point where we got these mutations working. Let's see. So in the proxy here, whenever we send a mutation, where are you? Mutations. What we're gonna do, we're actually gonna notify, so we're gonna call this, let's put this down by the, is this where we had mutations? Where is mutations? Oh, it's up here. Okay, fine. I'm just gonna shove it in here for now. Pending mutations. And the thing is, we can have this as a set, I think. No, we shouldn't have it as a set. We should have it as a string array. And these pending mutations, where are your mutations? So we're gonna do pending mutation push. So we're gonna push them, and then where we send state, oh, wait a minute. Why are we sending state here? We shouldn't send it. Oh, this is interesting. Oh, yeah, we actually... Interesting. Didn't this run? I wonder if this actually runs twice. Oh, we're gonna test something. Sending path. Sending path. Again. This can mess up our messaging. Sending path, new to do title. Sending path again, new to do title. And it's sending the same thing. But does this matter now? I'm gonna try to remove this. I think there is a reason why we needed that. Yeah, it was because of objects, wasn't it? Because this auto run wouldn't immediately run for some reason, but it should be. It should be synchronous. Okay, we're gonna try this again, and then we can just check if something goes bad. And what we're gonna do is has pending mutation would be path. Here would be path. Oh. State path. And then we're gonna do, we can do state path there. And if pending mutations, mutation path is state path join has mutation path. I think we need to find the index because we want to remove it again. Yeah. Yeah, no, we can just do pending mutations. We don't need to, we can do, what's it called? Splice. And yeah. If has pending mutation, we're just gonna index of mutation path, and then we're gonna return. We're not gonna send anything. Yeah. Let's see what happens now. So we have our history. We got our update. We make a change to the state. When we look at the history, we have a single mutation. Exactly what we want. Yeah. Okay, this is great. We've gotten far. Because this was the most tricky thing. So now if there's like some kind of internal, yeah, we can do a little fun experiment here. So in this Vite demo, we can set up an interval. So inside here, constructor, set interval, not timeout, set interval. Oh, we can do this, new to do title plus equals, something like this. So now we're gonna see that thing happening, and you see it's like an internal thing, but as soon as I add something there, you're gonna see that as a mutation. Yeah, that's great. Perfect. Okay. Yeah, where you can remove that. Great. Cool. Yeah, that's fine. We're going to a birthday party, so I should probably prep for that. And then what we're going to do next here now is to basically fix small things. We're just going to like review the experience of the devtools, basically. And then we're going to fix like showing the payload of an action. We're going to look at nested actions because those looked a little bit weird. Stuff like that. And then we're gonna and we're actually not breaking anything here. So far we just added stuff to the devtools. Or maybe, yeah, I'm not sure. No, we haven't broken anything. Well, yeah, we are deriving the state messages. So I'm not sure how that's gonna affect Overmind. Hola? Yeah. Okay. But yeah, I'm dropping off, and then yeah, we have to do an eval. Like, we should just do what's needed for ReactX now, and then we need to evaluate how compatible Overmind is with that, and if we have to make some changes. Yeah, because in Overmind you can only apply changes during an action. While here you don't need an action, so there's something. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, see you on Monday, Mark. But this was fun, and I might actually be doing a stream tomorrow as well. Or no, we're actually going on a date tomorrow. I haven't told you about this. Like, we have this amazing dating concept. Like, couples typically go on dates in the evening. Like, that's when you do dates. But we've hacked it. So on a Sunday, relatively early, like 11 a.m., the grandparents are coming, taking care of the kids. We go down to the city, and we have a few hours to ourselves, so we can actually like have a couple of drinks and just kind of be on our own. But we actually do family stuff. We're like discussing how are things going. We do some finances and stuff, but we do it over like a beer. And then that's our date. And we talk about everything else, of course, but that's so much better to do having children than doing in the evening, because you're so freaking tired in the evening. And then like the grandparents has to put them to bed, and then something might happen and they don't want to go to bed, and it gets late, and then we get an issue the day after. And if we go out in the evening and we have a couple of drinks, we sleep worse. Like, it's such a super hack to go on like a lunch date with alcohol to talk about all the things that might have a little bit of tension. At least for us, that's such a tension resolver. Anyways, can talk more about that some other day. Bye for now.